definitely you're known for being a very prolific model, and you always are able to land a picture perfect shot. So, what tips do you have for our readers of how to avoid camera shyness and always make sure they're picture perfect?
Well, first of all, glam.com is one of my favorite go-to beauty websites. So I commend you guys on all the things that you do. I go on the website all the time. For
Well, thank
me,
you.
for me, starting off, I think skin is the most important thing. I've partnered with Pond's. They have a new Luminous line. I love this line because it brightens dull skin. It's a great cleanser, great moisturizer, and a great exfoliant. I think the key to lasting makeup is to use a primer. Don't shy away from moisturizer. I think, as you know, and most women know out there, we're going away from a lot of foundation. We're going away from a lot of powder. Don't feel like you need to just moisturize it in the morning or at night. You can moisturize during the day, just blot with a tissue. I think, as the day goes on and you start to add on the makeup and add on the makeup, it can actually make you look older.
Yeah.
You know how that goes. So it's really important to blend, and don't be afraid to use your hands. Put your moisturizer with your foundation, put it all together and really pat. I think in the days of, everyone's taking your picture, whether it be Instagram or Who Say or Facebook, I think it's important, know what your best angles are. Play around with the camera. For me, I always hold it up a little bit. I always say, can you just raise that camera up a little bit and kind of shoot down? Makes you look a few pounds thinner. What else?
Definitely. And with the social media, a lot of people, like you said, they have the cameras turned on them. So they're becoming the focal point. So aside from, raising the camera and pointing it down, are there any more tips for people to take a photo with their iPhone or with their Android and make sure they get a tag-worthy snapshot?
I have to say, do a little lesson and get a little lesson on filtering and knowing how to filter yourselves. And if you can go on Instagram, you can do the great filters, or CP Pro is a great, and you can kind of filter and you kind of, white out the spots you don't like, or you could do a red filter or a blue filter, kind of glam it up a little bit. You could do a vintage style. So that's always fun to play with. And I have to say, I'm guilty of it. It does make your photos look better.
No, filtering is definitely fun. It's a really creative process, so it's always fun, especially when you can interact with people.
Yeah.
But you know how you have those people who they look good in pictures, but in person, rather, they don't look as good. But so, what are some tips or some beauty do's and don'ts that you have to make sure that, like we were speaking earlier about the skin and foundation, what are some tips that women can use to make sure they always have a luminous effect, whether it's in a photo or in real life?
Let's start with mascara. I think, people always ask me what's my go-to thing, what's always in my bag. I love an eyelash curler. It opens up the eye, and a lot of women forget about their brows. I know it's just two things on your forehead that sometimes you don't want to deal with, but if you really take care of your brows and maybe get them done once every 2 or 3 months and then just clean up the underneath, that can really, really open the eye. For me, my eyebrows are jet black, so I take a little color, we dye them 1-2 shades off, and that softens my face. So don't forget about the brows. Do a couple things of mascara, which, don't clob it on. Just, do it lightly, wait a second, recurl, be careful that you don't pull out your lashes, and then do another coat. I think a really big don't is shimmer. And I love a highlighter. I love it here, I love it a little here, I love a little here, but you can overdo it, especially in a photo. And what you think looks good in person, I promise you, with a flash, does not look good. So really be careful on how much you do with shimmer. And I think another thing would be to exercise. Start out with a green juice in the morning. For me, I think the biggest tip I've learned with Tracy Anderson and working out so many years is sweat. If you're on the treadmill or you're dancing or you're doing leg work, get a couple space heaters and sweat. That's really going to keep the pounds away and make your workouts more worth it.
Awesome. It starts from within, definitely. And I just have one more question for you. You are a new mother, so congratulations.
Thank you.
On your child. But, you're also a model. You're also an actress. You're always in the public eye. So what tips do you have for maybe new moms or moms to be about maintaining their own health and beauty routine, even though they have a small child?
I think really also, as much as you invest in your child, you can't forget about you. And I think that's really number one. You know, if you know, don't always do a 2-minute makeup. Spend 10 minutes in front of the mirror. Put more time into you, and that'll make you a better mom. I think the number one thing I can tell women is don't stay in your workout clothes all day long. Get up, get changed, get showered, get your hair up, blow it out, get a blow dry once every 2 weeks or 3 weeks or once a month. Make sure you get that color and really invest in yourself. It'll make you feel better and therefore be a better mom.
Awesome. Well, thanks you so much, Molly, for talking to us. And
Thank
I'll let
you.
Nola and Bianca know we chatted.
Thank you.